Welcome to the Art of Money Podcast with Art McPherson.
And this is the Art of Money Podcast with Art McPherson and Luke McCarty, artofmoneyradio.com for more information on the McPherson Financial Group or to schedule that initial complimentary consultation. We appreciate you listening. Now, let's get to the show. Art McPherson's had some great conversations with athletes, with celebrities, with singers, songwriters. And Art McPherson, I'm going down the list of the names that you had a chance to talk to at the Pump Brothers Foundations. Names like Vince Young and Warren Moon, Bill Walton. And then out of nowhere, it was like, oh, Vicente Fox, former president of Mexico. How did he get involved with this event?
It was pretty neat. So he has become good friends with the Pump Brothers. And he's very, cancer has been a big part of his family. So he got very passionate about it and wanted to be at it. And he was actually one of the keynote speakers last year. So he came again this year. And he is going to be a part of the event now. And it just was very interesting to talk with him a little bit out of the box like you speak. You know, a lot of times we're talking to celebrities or sports people of some sort, you know, whether it's football, basketball, baseball. But he was a lot of fun. We got a little bit into, you know, I didn't know how much he would be willing to go into, but we got a little bit into the border and border security. And I was very interested to talk to him about that because of all of our border issues that are going on today. And it was kind of a fun conversation.
With that, we'll let you hear it. Here's Art McPherson's conversation from the Pump Brothers Foundation event with former president of Mexico, Vicente Fox.
I have the unique opportunity on the Art of Money Radio to be talking with Vicente Fox, the past president of Mexico. So thank you for being here today on the Art of Money Radio.
Pleasure. Long time ago, my administration finished 2006. Since then, I've been a very happy man, married to extremely beautiful and happy Marta.
And Marta is with us here today. And I have my beautiful bride, Julie, and on our show, she's called Coach Julie because she used to be a coach when she was in high school, and she's here today.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
I see the whole sports community is gathered here at the Hilton on
Very
Pumps
much so.
Gala.
You were telling Mike a little bit earlier, a little bit about the story of meeting the Pump. So it sounded like you were actually in the presidential box at a football game where you actually met the Pumps.
Dallas, Texas, yes, with President Bush, which was there. I don't know how one of these Pumps, because I never know who is who.
I agree.
Which one is which?
Managed to get into that presidential box there in Dallas. And I committed with him that I would come to his first gala here as main speaker. Imagine me coming in front of those many celebrities, sports stars, and telling them about my life and telling them about my foundations.
And let's talk a little bit about your foundation. You have a couple of them. And I think I heard earlier that you have a presidential foundation that is the first time in history of Mexico.
Yes, sir, and the first one ever in the whole of the world outside of the United States.
Nice.
It's the first one ever, presidential library. And it's related to bringing in kids, poor kids from rural communities, from humble, low-income families, and tell them that strong message. You were not born to be poor. You were not born to be a criminal. You were not born to be a migrant. You were born to do great things in your life. And that's what we believe. We all are leaders, and we're leaders all the time of our life. We just have to go within and discover that gift that we all received of leadership. Once you discover that, there's no limit to your life and to your happiness.
And you have been a great partner with trade, you know, with America. We've had a tremendous amount of trade partnership with Mexico. We've gone through different presidents. How is our relationship with America and Mexico today, in your viewpoint, rather than it was when you were president?
Well, presidents help, and good relationship among presidents of Mexico, Canada, and United States helps to develop NAFTA. But nothing is more important in NAFTA than investors, than corporate world, and workers and farmers, that we make NAFTA to happen. And today, NAFTA trade balance is approaching the $1 trillion US dollars. This is $1 million of millions of US dollars that we exchange every year between Mexico and United States. And the great thing about this is that we are not the little guy on the backyard. We're 1-to-1 with the United States with this powerful economy. We export as much as we import. So a lot of farmers in the United States, in the Midwest and everywhere else, have a lot to thank Mexico for what we import into
Absolutely.
Mexico. We buy billions from those farmers, and that's part of their income.
When you're talking about leadership, as your give back to the community, as a past president of your country, where do you think there's a disconnect at times with the younger groups? How do they get caught up in like some of the gangs and memberships like that? How do you keep them from doing that so they can be successful businessmen, successful leaders in their community? How do you transition them?
Well, we both are to be blamed for the huge drug consumption that we have in the United States.
Sure.
And it's because, yes, drug comes through Mexico, coming from Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador, Nicaragua, Bolivia. So Mexico is just the door of entry of those drugs into the United States. So the day that drug consumption is legalized here in the United States, I think we will solve the whole problem about violence, blood, and cartels. And I'm a firm believer that use of drugs should be let free to decide to consumers, not governments decide what we should do about drugs.
One of the things that we get a lot of, and this will be my last question, one of the things we get a lot of is comments about the border. Why do you think there's such an issue of the border, and why do we have a border crisis today in your viewpoint?
Well, it's these drugs coming from south, that they come through Mexico and they get into the border.
Sure.
And they have to cross them there illegally and by criminals. And that's the big problem on the border. On the other face of the border, you see opportunities, because Mexico's maquiladora system has created over 3 million direct jobs in the border on the Mexican side. This is a way to refrain border crossing from migrants. So Mexico is doing its part, trying to keep our people within our country. Sometimes we don't have enough.
Sure.
But a U.S. economy has the need of importing more and more labor because you don't have enough here. So that's a win-win situation. Mexico providing labor, United States benefiting from Mexican labor. United States providing investment into Mexico, and Mexico making those investments very fruitful and competitive. So it's a win-win situation. That's what NAFTA is all about.
Thank you so much for being on our radio show today.
Muchas
It's been
gracias.
a great pleasure.
And the beautiful lady, what is she doing here?
I didn't get to ask too many questions, but that's okay. We're out of
Okay,
time.
bueno, muchas gracias, because always hearing ladies is much better than hearing these ugly guys
agree.
here.
Exactly. So think of one good question that you want to ask.
I just wanted to thank you for doing your foundation with the children, because I was a teacher for 16 years.
Oh.
So I know that my heart is with the children also, and making sure that they understand their part in this world is beyond just them sitting where they sit. So thank
Being
you
a
so much
teacher
for
is
that.
maybe the best profession we can dedicate ourselves to, because you're modeling the character, the personality, the knowledge of those kids. So
Yes.
you recreate yourself with those kids.
Sure.
And I congratulate you for that.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening. Want more from Art McPherson of McPherson Financial Group? Find us online at artofmoneyradio.com.
We are an independent financial services firm helping individuals create retirement strategies using a variety of financial and insurance products to custom suit their needs and objectives. Securities offered through World Equity Group, Inc., member FINRA and SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Investment advisory services offered through ProStatus Group, LLC. McPherson Financial Group and ProStatus Group, LLC are separate entities and are not owned or controlled by World Equity Group, Inc. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Investment financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. Art McPherson is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Please consult with your attorney, accountant, and or tax advisor for advice concerning your particular circumstances. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Arthur McPherson, Florida Insurance License number A174725.
Today's show has been a work of art.